Hello, Namaskar, and a very warm welcome to this Updates in Public Health in India. We're going to talk about the NFHS 5 National Family Health Survey number 5, a review which was just launched very recently in November 2021. I'm Dr. Mukhmohit Singh, your PSM, Community Medicine, your Public Health faculty. Talking about the NFHS 5 National Family Health Survey number 5, it was actually conducted as a survey in year 2019 and 2021. That is your first MCQ. Of course, common sense, this whole was under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, but the onus of conducting this survey and this National Family Health Survey was on this International Institute of the Population Sciences, IIPS, which is located in Mumbai. So this could be a potential MCQ number 2 that IIPS actually conducted the NFHS number 5. Talking further about the NFHS 5, some of the salient features or the new things which were added in NFHS 5. This is not to scare you, you just need to appreciate, you need to be sensitized or you need to be acclimatized to these new things, that's all. You don't need to memorize them each one by heart. That there were new topics like the preschool education, disabilities, access to toilet facilities, death registration, bathing practices during menstruation, methods and reasons for abortion, so on and so forth. So also you would like to appreciate the fact that the scope of the clinical, anthropometric and the biomedical testing had been expanded to include the measurement of waist hip circumference and the age range for the measurement of blood pressure and the blood glucose. So that could be your big time MCQ, that the blood glucose, blood pressure, waist hip ratios, they were taken in NFHS number 5. Also, you would like to remember that the HIV testing had been dropped in NFHS 5. These inclusion of the blood pressures, the blood glucose levels actually would change the way we look at NFHS 5 data in the years to come. Next, also you would like to know about what were the questionnaires, what were the parameters in NFHS 5. There were actually 4 questionnaires under this NFHS or the National Family Health Survey number 5. So the 4 questionnaires were the household schedule. The questionnaires, they are actually called the schedules. So you had the first schedule, that is the household schedule. Second was the biomarker schedule. Third is you had a separate schedule for females and for males, number 3 and number 4. So these were your 4 schedules. What was included in these 4 schedules? In household schedules, you again don't need to memorize them. It's just to sensitize you. The parameters which were used were the visitors or the members who were staying in that household overnight, like they who stayed for the last night before the survey, the socio-economic characteristics, water sanitation, hygiene levels, disability, land ownership, number of deaths in the households, use of mosquito nets, so on. The biomarker schedules included the waist hip circumference, the blood pressures, the blood glucose levels for age 15 years and over. That's what is important. Also, we had the hemoglobin level, height and weight, which is just usually we do it for under the NFHS, National Family Health Survey. Talking about the males and the female schedule, they both had the common things about the marriages, about the fertilities, contraception, fertility preferences, immunization, nutrition levels, reproductive and sexual health. For males, we had testing of the HIV and AIDS awareness and knowledge attitude practices. Similarly for females, but for females, we had a added parameter about the female women empowerment. That is how many females, percentage of females had actually had the capacity to influence or to make the decisions in the family, or the number of females who suffered unfortunately from domestic violence. So these were some of the schedules and the new things. Now I'll be making you walk through the National Family Health Survey, the total PDF version of this NFHS 5 data. So this NFHS 5 data, the first data that we have in hand is regarding the very important thing, that the number of population below 15 years of age. The population which is below 15 years of age, earlier it was 28.6, but now it is 26.5. Now, a very important fact over here is that the sex ratio of the total population, early it was 1991, now it is 1020. This could be your potential 3-star MCQ. You need to remember that the sex ratio, that is the number of females per 1,000 males in India right now, as per the NFHS 5 data, is 1020. You would also like to remember that the sex ratio at birth, that is for children, number of females born at birth, number of females and the number of boys, per 1,000 boys is 929. That just tells you that still the sex ratio is a public health problem in India. Next in line is the number of households who are using clean fuels for cooking. In spite of all the Ujjwala and other schemes for clean fuels, we still have only half of the population who are using clean fuels in their homes. The literacy rate in India has actually improved, and earlier it was around 60 and 70, but now it is 85% of the males are literate and approximately 71.5 or 72% of the females are literate in India. A very, very important point, in fact this was one of the most important point which I wanted to make this whole video upon, is that the total fertility rate, the TFR, that is the total number of children per woman in India, has tremendously changed from 2.2 to 2.0. So now we have the TFR at 2.0, which is again a 5-star MCQ for you. Next in line, if you can remember about these neonatal mortalities, infant mortality, under 5 mortality, you should remember the neonatal mortality is 24 or 25, the under 5 mortality is, the infant mortality is 35, the under 5 mortality is 42. But actually we use the infant mortality data from the SRS, which is more approximate for in the Indian context, and it is conducted every 6 monthly, so you must be knowing this. But if you can remember, if you can recall these numbers, you should recall these numbers. Next in line, again a 5-star MCQ point is point number 28, that use of any method of contraception is 66.7. so can you see the tremendous change from 53.5 in NFHS 4 to 66.7 in NFHS 5. You would also like to appreciate that the female sterilization methods was 38%. So can you see that 38% out of the total 67%? It is roughly around 60 to 70%, right? So till now, the female sterilization is the most common method of contraception, adopted by the eligible couples or the target couples, adopted by the couples in India. Still we have as female sterilization or tubectomy, which is the most common method of contraception, which is adopted by 67 to 70% of the total population eligible couples in India. Next in line is regarding, I think, the Mch indicators. Yes, the Mch indicators, the number of females who have had antenatal checkup in the first trimester. It's okay number. It's around 70%, which is very nice. But the problem is that the total number of females, this is the problem. Point number 41 is that the total number of females who have had total 4 antenatal checkups in India is only half, 58%. So that's kind of a sad numbers. And can you believe this? Point number 43, the number of females who consumed iron folic acid for 100 days or more when they were pregnant. So I hope we all know about the Anemia Mukta Bharat. The Anemia Mukta Bharat gives IFA tablets to the pregnant females for 180 days. So let's not talk about the 180 days. I'm talking about the 100 days. So the number of females who consumed IFA tablets for 100 days was only 44%. So less than half of the females are only taking IFA tablets, and more than half are still left out without the IFA tablets. That's kind of a bad number that we are still having. Talking about the institutional births, we are very nice. It's nice to know about the NFHS 5 data has shown us that 89% of all the births in India are institutional births. But again, the problem over here is regarding the cesarean section. The cesarean section in a private facility and a public health facility, they were at the two different extremes. In the private, it was 47.4. In the public health facility, it was 14.3. So which is again a matter of concern over here, but that's how it is. Next is 57 point, the children aged 12 to 23 months who were fully vaccinated from the vaccination card or the mother's recall. So what is a fully vaccinated beta? Fully vaccinated is a child who has completed all due vaccines by 1 year of age. So all due vaccines completed by 1 year of age is 76.4%. That means we can say that roughly around 3/4, like 3/4 of the children, they are fully vaccinated. We still have 1/4 of the children which are not fully vaccinated in India. So that's still a kind of a concern from the public health point of view that is available, that is still there in India. Now, talking about the prevalence of diarrhea and the prevalence of ARI in India, we all know in children age less than 5 years, the NFHS 5 data has shown us that the diarrhea is 7.3 and the ARI is 2.8, which commensurates with our previous knowledge also that the diarrhea is more common in age group, more common morbidity thing, or the prevalence of diarrhea is higher in age group less than 5 years rather than the ARI problem. Regarding the child feeding practices and the nutritional status in India, this is one of the most saddening features that we have in India. These are sad features that we have. If you talk about the number of children who were breastfed within 1 hour of birth, can you believe that only 42% of the children in India are breastfed within 1 hour? And can you believe that only 60% of the children are actually exclusively breastfed in India? This has shown us that the public health system in India needs to work on mother and child health more aggressively in India right now. Talking about these numbers from 81 to 85, these are actually the anthropometric measurements in India for children age less than 5 years. So I would like to just make you remember the stunting, the wasting and the underweight. The stunting problem in India in under 5 children is 35.5. 19.3 children in India are wasted, and 1/3 of our children, that is 32%, are actually underweight. This is a major concern in India. Next is talking about the overweight problem in adults. About the obesity problem, the females who are obese or the males who are obese. The females or the males who are obese, can you believe that approximately 1/4, that is 25% of the males, and 22.9 of the males and 24% of the females, they are obese in India. Anemia is again a major, big, sad numbers that we have from the NFHS 5. The anemia, level of anemia in children aged 6 months to 59 months who are anemic was a whooping 67.1%. So from NFHS 4, it was 58.6. I'm not talking about the way that we had done the surveys in NFHS 4 or 5, but just talking about the numbers. The NFHS 4 data had 58.6% prevalence of anemia in age group 6 to 59 months, whereas NFHS 5 has shown that we have gone from bad to worse. 67.1% children in India are anemic who are less than 5 years of age. Talking about the all females who are 15 to 49 years of age, that is the reproductive age group, who are anemic, can you believe that again we have 57% of the females in India are anemic. So again we have dropped from 53 to 57, so we have gone from bad to worse in terms of anemia. This is again a matter of concern. Next is regarding the blood sugar levels, the hypertension levels. You can see that the blood sugar levels, which the number of males who were with high blood sugar or who were already diagnosed and taking blood sugar medication was 15.6 males, and in females category it was 13.5. So roughly you can say that 13 to 15% is the prevalence of diabetes in India, and number of people who had high or very high blood sugar levels or who were taking blood sugar medications. Talking about similarly on the similar grounds, talking about the blood pressure levels, the elevated blood pressure or the hypertension level, prevalence of hypertension in females or females who were already diagnosed with hypertension was 21.3, and in males it was slightly higher of 24%. So this 21.3 and 24, it relates to the obesity prevalence also. So that is what NFHS has shown, that the prevalence of these indicators is still high or pretty high in India. Next is regarding the cancer screening in India. Cancer screening, not a major problem. Cancer is not a very, very major problem, but still it is an important public health problem in India. And you can see that the number of females who underwent screening test for cervical cancer is so less. It's only 1.9% of the females in India had undergone cervical cancer screening, and oral cancers is 1.2. You don't want to remember this number, that's okay if you forget, but I just wanted you to appreciate these numbers. Next is this point number 1 to 4. We can see that the use of hygienic methods of protection during the menstrual period in females who were in young age group 15 to 24 years. You can see that earlier in NFHS 4 we had 15 14.6, and now we have a higher number of 77.3. So we are proud to say that in terms of the women empowerment, we have gone towards betterment, and number of all the parameters have actually increased in terms of the women empowerment. Unfortunately, regarding the females who experience spousal violence, age group 18 to 49 years, who were married females. So earlier in NFHS 4 it was 31.3, and we are still hovering around the same number of 29.3. So regarding spousal violence, the things have not improved. But talking about the tobacco and the alcohol use in India, that could be again your potential 2 or maybe 3-star MCQ. Regarding the tobacco use in males, it's 38% of the males were found to be tobacco smokers. Tobacco users, not smokers, tobacco users. And in females, 8.9% of the females were tobacco users. So the previous data is not available, so therefore we cannot compare the NFHS 4 or the NFHS 5. But however, it somehow looks to me a slightly on a higher scale. Talking about the alcohol use in males was 18.8%. So that's what you need to remember for your exam, and that's what is some of the important salient features for you. So what I have done is I have made a small chart over here. So this chart is regarding all the important parameters under the NFHS 5 data, and all the important parameters. You can take a screenshot of these numbers and you can just save them in your devices. So this is table number 1, and then you have again table number 2. Over here, it commensurates to the same data that we had done. So with that, thank you so much for watching this module. And I'm Dr. Mukhmohit Singh, and any doubt you have, you're more than always welcome to post them on my own group, that is the Mukhmohit's Community and Medicine Discussions, or you can shoot it on the Marolinks group. However, I always recommend you to use the Telegram channel, because it's more easy for you to put your doubts or queries at any time of the day, and I can answer them any time of the day. If you have any further questions, you can put me a personal message or direct message on my Facebook page or the Instagram channel. Thank you so much for watching this module. Take care, keep on revising, and bye-bye.